السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today we will start the discussion of Surah Adh-Dhariyat, number 51 in the order of the surahs in Quran. And as we said last time, that you can see that this series of surahs 51 till 56, they basically fall really in the middle of Quran, okay, in terms of the number, the order of the surahs, okay, and always like in the center you look for central themes, and again, this is what we are really going to explore as we really discuss more of these really surahs. And we will, as we said before, we will take every surah and try like to understand its structure and what are really the major themes that the verses of the surah revolve around. When I looked at Surah Adh-Dhariyat, and I really tried to find really where are really these central themes. And like any one of you, I'm sure you if you read the surah, your attention will go towards a verse towards the end of the surah. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I have not created jinn or human beings except to worship me, to obey me. But inshallah we will see that there is really more to the word of ya'budun. Okay, I believe that there is really a more advanced meaning, which we have been talking about in our previous discussions, that how can the human being get closer to Allah? Wasjud waqtarib. How you can come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we get closer to Allah? By realizing His beautiful names and attributes in our own life. The more I stick to justice, I am getting closer to the most all just, okay, or the justice, Al-Adl. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Adl, one of His beautiful names, okay. If I practice mercy, I am getting whoever is practicing any of these high values, okay, he or she will really get closer to Allah, who has all these attributes in the infinite, in the absolute, okay. So but then if you remember that when you trying like to find the central theme of any surah, always start at the middle, and I was really surprised. And again, this is personal inference. I mean, I am not forcing it on anyone, but it gave me a different way of looking at things. Although this verse that, as we said, comes towards the end of the surah, but I found that in the middle there is a story. It's a story of a prominent prophet and messenger, Ibrahim alayhi salam. And when I looked at the passage that talks about Ibrahim and his relative Lut alayhi salam, and these two prophets are, their experience is very and highly connected. I found that they covers verse 24 to 37. And the total number of the verses is 60. And I found that there are 23 from this side, and 23 before it, and 23 after it. So it is really, perfectly in the middle of the surah. So this time, instead of the message being a statement, the message is in a practical way, okay, like talking about someone who exemplified the idea of وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And the more I personally learned about Ibrahim alayhi salam and the way he is presented in Quran, you become more and more convinced why Ibrahim is taken as a prototype. You see, so when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Ibrahim did not really earn that status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala easily. He was not like someone that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, oh, I want this guy to be a good model. No. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنْ قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. When Ibrahim alayhi salam responded perfectly, أَتَمَّهُنْ, perfectly to the challenges, to the tribulations, to the tests, to the trials. So he had to go through this to prove that he deserves to be selected to be imam to the people, to be the leader. Not only that, but a good leader is someone who is capable of producing more leaders. And he started by his own family. وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ إِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ. And then Quran will say immediately, وَجَعَلْنَاهُمْ أَئِمَّةً, the plural of imam. And that reminded me of a practice of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, how the leader has to think about producing more leaders. Every time Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam will start to lead the prayer, he will say, لِيَلِيَنِي مِنْكُمْ أُولُو الْأَحْلَامِ وَالنُّهَى. Let the first line after me be the people of big brains. Ahlam wa nuha. And ahlam like dreams. like thinking big.
Sort of like.
Think about it, my dear brothers and sisters. If the imam, for one reason or another, could not continue the prayer, he has to call on someone too. So in other words, the leader has the capacity to choose. It's not like one, but he can choose from among several people. If that leader has done good job. You see, it's not just to have a leader, but is that leader capable of producing more leaders? Capable of taking the baton, as we said, to lead. Because no one is going to stay forever. And you will see it also in the surah itself, that if the human being worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way similar to Ibrahim alayhi salam, and all the ones who came, because Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself will say, ثم أوحينا إليك أن اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا. He is the leader, and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is asked, follow. You see what? So it's amazing, like how the and so as we said, if the human being, any human being, worships Allah in that fashion, not to just say, okay, oh, I accepted to be a worshipper of Allah. Yes, this is the first step, but you have to show it. And this is where I see in the middle of this, the central theme is showing us how. You see what I mean? In a practical way, not just saying a statement, but how are you going to show it in your behavior, in day-to-day life? And we have a good example from Quran when a group of desert people came to the Prophet, Arab, and they said, we believe. Quran said, no. You have embraced Islam. قُولُوا أَسْلَمْنَا. It's the first step. You have to show. إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم. You have to believe and show that you believe in that new project. This is a new project, is that right? You have to show your belief in it. And then you are ready even to sacrifice everything. Your time, your money, your effort, everything. Put it in that direction. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us that the universe itself, it will come to the aid, to the service of that true worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if you are alone. Even if you are alone. That should not really take away your responsibility. You cannot say, oh, I am alone, nobody is responding to me. No. You can do it. Even if you are alone. The responsibility will not be less. So the whole universe, as we will see in the surah, is moving. Everything is moving. But it's not moving without a direction, without a destination, without a purpose. You see, the whole universe is moving, and the human being is also moving. But give the true direction to your movement. Because you were not created in vain. Creation, purpose. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Now, without being blinded or missing what we decided to do this year, is to understand, to have a deeper understanding of the human being. So I hope I can show you through the verses where the human being stands in this universe. Why I was saying earlier that the يعبدون is more than just like to obey, but really to get closer. It means that The God that you are worshipping is asking you to be elevated towards Him. Anything else is not asking you to be less. Why? I mean, we are not supposed like to worship an idol, for example, because you created that one. Who is bigger, you or the one that you created? You see, if I am worshiping I'm worshiping something less, I will be less. No. It's different when you say Abdullah. When you say that I worship Allah, it means I am being elevated towards Allah. If money becomes the idol, you are better than your own money, or the money better than you? That is really the question. Who is in control? Or anything else. Could be property, could be status in the society. Anything can be idolized, okay? And then the human being value will become less and less. So let us today focus on that central part of the surah. You see, we are going a little bit differently. Okay, we are not starting from the beginning. But this is only for the sake of discussion. Okay, we are not saying that this should be the first. No. I mean, the structure is beautiful as it is. Okay, but let us see, understand the central, so that the rest will come to aid, to foster, to support that central theme. Make sense? I would really like to also hear from you if you have any comments or any, please.
The mukh, or the brain of even the nuts too, you cannot go out of shell. Inside what it is there, you have to go in there. Sometimes even Allah is preparing you to bring it to the conclusion. By, like, the story starts with Hazrat Ibrahim and Hazrat Lut alayhi. Then it means He's preparing us to illa la ya'budun.
Yes, exactly. So that's, again, instead of, this could be in the center. But this time is like, I want you to see it in a practical way. How you can exemplify that statement, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Because you will see that the whole universe is moving in that direction. Don't be an exception, because then things will go wrong. Okay? Don't miscalculate. Don't lose your compass. Where are you heading? You are moving. We are all moving. Is that right? But what direction we are giving to our movement? What direction we are giving to our actions? Are we giving them the direction of the truth? Allah is the truth. Are we giving them the direction of justice? Allah is the all just, al-adl. Are we giving our action? You see, this is how, we can monitor. Because really, give you an example of how the destination will help you to adjust your direction. You came today to the mosque. Is that right? Suppose you are taking, let us say, St. Mary Road. You are all familiar with St. Mary Road, okay? But then you found that there is construction, okay? You have to make rights and lefts and even, but again, every new turn you are doing, okay, and sometimes people may say, this guy is going in the opposite direction, but yes, you may be going a little bit in the opposite direction, but you are adjusting another example. If I'm going from point A to B, okay, and today you can see it on the GPS, and you are, let us say, going north, and sometimes you find that you are going south. Because you cannot continue going north because there is like a steep road, or like there is a mountain, or you see what I mean, or a cliff or whatever. Then it will take you in the opposite direction. So it is adjusting in order to reach your destination. You see, so this is how we need also to move. If I know where I am heading, I need to adjust. If I see myself not exercising mercy, and then if I did not forgive the people around me, if I did not help somebody who needs help, then I adjust. You see what I mean? So that what helps us. Okay, so it becomes also a way to monitor our own behavior.
It's like the stops that you make on the way. Like if you're going to a journey, these are all different stops. You cannot get to that one first exit and pass it successfully, then you end up going to the second exit or not. Like if you don't surpass or meet that level of justice or other, you cannot move to the next level. But
yes,
that's the thing. Like it's similar example.
Very good point, because really, even because these attributes or these high values, that they are themselves moving. They are not static. Okay, so you cannot say, "Oh, now I have achieved." I mean, like al-adl. Al-adl is not like one line. Okay, but that will help you to ask a bigger question and move into a higher level of justice. So because you are moving, otherwise you stop and you find myself, so what I have achieved? What is next? But since you are moving, but again, the destination or the purpose or the goal or al-qibla help you like to adjust, okay, your direction all the time. So the verses started by saying, هل أتاك حديث ضيف إبراهيم المكرمين. And this is a common methodology or style you see in Quran, that the verses will be talking about something and then start talking about a different topic, okay? But then our job is to see the connection, okay? This is called iltifat. Iltifat, like when you turn your head. But it became an abstract concept, okay? A style in Quran that you see it all the time. This iltifat, like going from one subject to another, but then you have to make the connection, as we are going to do. So, هل أتاك حديث ضيف إبراهيم المكرمين? Have you heard or come across the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam with his honorable guests? Now, every ayah is a question, so that will raise a question immediately in your mind. Who are these honorable guests? Are they like normal human beings or something else? Or yes, please.
But many times these questions are rhetorical questions. Allah is not expecting you to answer.
Yes.
Himself is going to answer in the following verse.
Exactly. So, you are right. It's by itself a question, but every ayah you can look at it as a small or infinitesimal question. So it will raise in your mind so many questions. Who is Ibrahim? Who are really these other guests? So you want to know more about it. So now, when they entered, they said salam, assalamu alaikum, or whatever in their language, okay? And Ibrahim alayhi salam returned that greeting with another peaceful greeting, okay? Wa alaikum assalam. They said salam, he said salam. But immediately he noticed that these people, he doesn't know. strangers. قال سلام قوم منكرون. No, you. I mean, or at least he was behaving with them like dealing with the strangers. You know, sometimes when you deal, somebody comes to you and I mean, it looks on your face that you did not. Even somebody, if that person knows you and you don't know, you will say, and then say, sorry, who are you? Did we meet before or something like that? So you want to know, okay?
What's the word munkar has different meaning, right?
Yeah,
so
this is.
Why?
But this is beautiful because what is the opposite of munkar? معروف. يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر. You remember what we said about معروف and the high values in Quran are معروف, meaning that they are universally known. The bad things, bad actions are munkar that people don't like, don't come together to say, oh, this is the thing that we have to agree on. People agree on the high values, but they disagree on everything that is opposite to them. They agree on justice and they disagree on oppression. They agree on saying the truth and they disagree on lying. Have you seen the opposite? Have you seen people like saying that lying is better than saying the truth? You see, so people come together around it and becomes universally known, and they at the same time they come together to disagree on all these things that are opposite to these high values. So the same thing, قوم منكرون, I don't know you, I cannot agree that we know each other. So here you see a very
I was going to ask, what's the Arabic word for stranger? Ajnabi, right? Or what is it?
In fact, Quran does not. Quran uses. No, it doesn't use gharib, if you like.
Oh.
Gharib is a stranger.
Oh.
Okay, but here, قوم منكرون is the beauty of it. Is that it is not that you only does not know that person, but you are dealing with him. So there is more a deeper psychological, because you see sometimes, we are not saying anything. Ibrahim did not say you are strangers, but the way he was acting with them, it appeared on his non-verbal communication, on his body, on his face. We know it. We all experience that. Yes.
The first way, when I reflect on that too, when Jibreel is saying the first word Iqra,
yes,
and then the body language, I feel it. What?
Yeah.
And then he said,
yes, because you start behaving, that there is something strange.
Yes.
Okay. In fact, there is a recent book about strangers, like how to deal with the strangers and how sometimes we misjudge strangers, and the reason because we always, as human beings, default to the truth, so we trust. Because it is important for survival of any society. If you are going to question every action you see around you, you will not move. But in certain instances, when the triggers and the cues start to go higher and higher, you start saying, oh my God, there is something wrong here. I have trusted that person, but there is something wrong. How many times we interview people and they do very well on the interviews. And you say, oh my God, I love this person. But when you see them practically and on the job, you start, the first time you may forgive. Is that right? I mean, or overlook. But when you see the queues start to accumulate, then you start, questioning. But the idea, like, the way we deal with the strangers in general is really also part of our survival. Otherwise, we cannot really go with our life, trusting 100%, everything really around us. So he was, from his behavior, it's telling us that he did not know these people before. But even if they are strangers, the high values that Ibrahim alayhi salam and the people around him, do normally is really to be hospitable, even to those who are strangers. So what did he do?
Food, offers.
He wanted to bring them food, so he brought a fat calf to slaughter for these guests. Yes.
If I may interrupt you for a second.
Please.
So I read this encounter and also about Ibrahim Islam. Some say that he was just him and his wife living a simple life. Others say that he was like a chieftain, like a chief of the tribe. So he was very wealthy. He had a lot of, sheep and goats and all that, So depends which one he was. What was the truth, That has a lot of bearing on this encounter, For instance, in the Surah Yasin,
Yes.
when the messengers came, the people said, "Inna tatayyarna bikum." We see a bad omen in you.
Yes.
And I'm thinking in my mind, when Ibrahim Islam saw these strangers, being, like you said, he's a high-valued man, he had an inkling in his heart that something is not right here. Right?
Yes. But
But he didn't say they used the word, but he said something different, right? And I'm just wondering why Allah is using, why didn't he say that, wait a minute, I see something, this is not good news, what you are going to tell me. I think there's a portent of a bad omen. Something not good is about to happen. And that's the message you are probably bringing.
But it's very interesting. I mean, this is what we really need. I mean, to raise all these questions. But one of the things that you learn about the people, especially in the desert, in the countryside and the mountains,
They would not ask.
they are very generous.
Yeah.
Do you know why? I mean, because they don't have much. So there's not. They are not really looking at keeping things. You see what I mean? It is easier for them. So they are not attached to the things. They are all the time on the move. They are, and they don't have much life. So they use what they have rather than just keep them and become really
I say that because the answer.
And this is not, again, this is not only for Ibrahim. This is why I said that it is very common. And when you read, for example, about the tribes in Arabia and their attributes and how they behave, how they were known about how they be hospitable even to the strangers, because all the time there are people who are coming by, and that became a part of the social norm. Unfortunately, only recently we have seen things changing, and in your own lifespan. I remember when we were young, when we were in the Scout, and we used to go these, trips in the mountains, and the moment the people see you, they start giving you fruits and vegetables, and you go to ask for a little bit of salt, they give you a big box of it. They are really, they still do it, but things later change because people are getting away from these really high values. They become more dealing with you really as a total stranger that they need to be scared of you. That's the one. Not only that they don't know you, but still they can treat you nicely. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was still, yes, they are strangers, so he doesn't know them, but he was really still practicing, his generosity, which has become part of him. But this is really more of anthropological, if you like, a trait for the people who live in conditions like that. They acquire easier that attribute of generosity compared to someone who really live in the city and they have things around them. So they become more and more attached. And you go to your house and if you count the things that you don't need, I mean, it applies to all of us. But this is, again, it becomes part of the way of life in these different parts.
That's
really,
the place of civilization.
Exactly. And so you start to lose some of these really innate, if you like,
basic instincts of humanity.
Yes, exactly. So now, how did he? What were the cues to Ibrahim to notice that there is something wrong? Yes, please.
Just thinking about the setup. So God has been communicating with prophets in different ways. So I'm just wondering if we, in our time, have been told through the Quran that this is what happened to the people of Lot, and this is what happened to Ibrahim when God had provided to him a vision or what that he's going to have a son, which is. So why is this setup? Why is this format? Is there a reason that in this specific format, angels have to come down and do not eat, and you have to tell him what's going to happen? God at the end destroyed the Lot, but these guys didn't have to come to provide this. So I'm just thinking about what is the setup.
Very good question, and you can see that in other settings in the same way. For example, in Surah Al-Anfal and also in Surah Al-Imran, Quran describes how he helped in more than one occasion the believers with angels coming down to fight along with them. And then Quran will say, وَمَا جَعَلَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بُشْرًا. You see, in other words, for us, we want to see things more tangible. So this glad tidings, is coming in a very tangible way. And like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making His own junud rabbik, his own angels and His own soldiers to carry on the mission. So the prophet and the believers will be experiencing it firsthand. You see, it's not like something beyond the scenes. And so and now we will know that these are not human beings, but they are angels coming in the shape of a human beings. How did Ibrahim notice that when he asked them, invited them to eat, they did not eat? فَلَمَّا رَأَى أَيْدِيَهُمْ لَا تَصِلُ إِلَيْهِ نَكِرَهُمْ. Now he realized that they are really strangers, and they are not even, because the habit or the nature of things as Ibn Khaldun will call them, طبائع العمران, the nature of any culture. So like the culture in that setting is when you invite somebody to eat, they have to eat. Because it means if they do not eat, that there's something wrong.
Also, it's courteous to some countries or something. You can feel that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, so here I want to say that how every culture, because when we talk about culture, we remember what we say is the totality of habits, industries or arts and institutions. Now now we are talking about a lower culture. I mean, I don't mean lower that in the condescending way, but it is not because the culture in the desert, okay, they don't have industries, they don't have factories, they are primitive in the way, but sophisticated. But they are not really. Their institutions are also very limited compared when they move to the city, okay, and they start building more and more institutions. But both are cultures. You see what I mean? So the culture in that setting is if somebody invites you to eat, you have to eat, even a little bit, just to give them the sign that you are not going to hurt them.
They feel insulted.
You see what I mean? So they feel safe. Immediately when they did not eat, فَأَوْجَسَ مِنْهُمْ خِيفَةً. So he was scared, but he tried his best not to show it. But they realized that as much as he was trying to hide his fear, قالوا لا تخف. So immediately they wanted like to give him the safety zone, okay, to Ibrahim. Don't worry, okay. So فقربه إليهم قال ألا تأكلون. In another verse, in another place in Quran, فلما رأى أيديهم لا تصل إليه نكرهم. When he did not see their hands extended to get food, he was scared. So فأوجد قالوا لا تخف. Not only they asked him not to be afraid, not to be scared, but also they give him the good tiding that he is going really to have a son. So the fear was transformed into happiness. Still, it's really a big surprise, and it is strange by itself. Yes, Ashraf.
I just wanted to kind of come back to this, so just to generalizing so the relationship between Ibrahim and God is an example of the perfect, like prophet connection to God.
Khalila, yes.
So, but also from all the description of the relationships and how Ibrahim's face came through, he wanted always a material evidence. So, for example, he did ask God to show him how he
creates.
Yeah. And God asked him, didn't you believe? He said, but and in this case too, it is a materialistic evidence. He wouldn't get it if God give him a vision that he's going to have a son. I'm just if we collecting the nature of human being from the Quran, so it is expected that human would be looking for materials, and their belief will not be only unseen. It has to have some material progress, just based on the best example.
Yes. And again, I mean, this is that we want to destroy together the myth that as if the prophets, we forget that they are human beings. You see what I mean? And they want to experience that. They want to be part of it. You see, it's also. I mean, if I tell you that this is how they, for example, make chocolate. Has any one of you been to a chocolate factory? You have been. I mean, it's totally different. I mean, if I tell you the story of how, different from like going to a factory and see exactly how it is really being. Have you taken your kids like to that factory in Wisconsin, not far from here, where they do this candy? What?
Bean jelly beans.
The jelly beans. Have you been to that? They take you in a I'm sorry? Tour in the factory. It's amazing. I mean, like, it's completely different because now you are experiencing it. It's not just, yes. And again, the idea, you can say all day and all night that I believe in God. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my God, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves to be to worshipped, or you want to be, but are you to what extent? What is the experience? What is the proof
that you really truly
you see that is really that. So instead of Quran saying وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ, this is a major theme. But I am showing it to you in reality. So part of it, I mean, to experience, even when they were told that you are going to have a son, what is really the natural? What is the natural reaction? The happiness is really like because of it, that you are going to. But when he looks at himself and he sees that he is really old, and then now comes his wife and saying, "Oh my God, I am also old, and I am like in the menopausal period. I mean, of my life. I am not in the childbearing age. She came and she did like this. فَسَقَّتْ وَجْهَهَا. Or she did. Is it going to happen? Now, why they are saying this? Why Ibrahim as a human being and his wife as a human being? Ordinary human beings. Why are they saying this?
It's out of
this is the habit.
reality, yeah.
This is the experience.
Yes.
There are certain laws that govern this life, and they say, "Oh my God, we are going against these laws." What is the message here? I'm sorry?
God can do anything.
But yes, Allah subhanahu. But what is more important? What is my portion of it? I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do whatever He wants. But what is my portion of it? What does this tell me about the human being? So the human being has the tendency, here is the challenge, that when we see things happening all the time, and we know they are the laws that govern this, but there is this tendency we may become prisoners of these laws. You see? So you need to liberate yourself. Quran is saying, and Ibrahim deserves that the laws of the universe that you have been accustomed to, we can really change them for you. We are not going to see every old lady is getting pregnant. It's only happening in that setting. Think about it. I'll give you another example. If I touch fire, what will happen to my hand? It will burn. Is that right? Ibrahim alayhi salam was thrown in the fire. Is that right? Okay. The fire continues to burn. But Ibrahim, if anybody is around Ibrahim, comes little closer, will be burned by the fire. He was and he was not burned. It means what? That Ibrahim was above the fire. You see, the fire should really burn. Quran is saying bardan wa salama. It became an air conditioner. The opposite, the total opposite. You see what I mean? So the unfortunate thing is that we call it mu'jiza in Arabic. But Quran never uses that word mu'jiza or miracle. Okay? Yes, it is against the familiar, but it should not be taken to make you helpless, because mu'jiza from ajaz, from helplessness. These are not meant to make you helpless. They are meant to show where is your status. Your status puts you in that position for the universe to come to your aid, not to work against you. So they reached an age where they cannot have. And why it is important for Ibrahim? We've talked about Ibrahim as a leader, but he wants also more leaders to continue. He's old. The same sentiment we saw it with Zakaria. وَذَكَرِيَّا إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ رَبِّ لَا تَذَرْنِي فَرْدًا وَأَنْتَ خَيْرُ الْوَارِثِينَ. I want somebody to inherit the mission after me. I am old. So it really reflects this deep belief in these people, prophets and messengers, that they are keen about the message itself. How to continue even after they leave. You see where is their commitment? Do you see where is their dedication? If someone is thinking like that, okay, definitely he deserves like a response from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this fashion. Yes.
Like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam never wished as a biological imam or the leadership in his progeny or whatever.
No, but you see, Quran through the whole experience of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Quran was emphasizing how important for Muhammad to have the believers with him. You see what I mean? إن ربك يعلم أنك تقوم أدنى من ثلثي الليل ونصفه وثلثه وطائفة من الذين معه. You see what I mean? يا أيها النبي حسبك الله ومن اتبعك من المؤمنين. You have to raise these people. You need them. It's very important. Because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was described as like the sun, Siraj. But if I ask you the question, what really will make the sun, we see it like, okay, clear as a sun, shining and producing light? Is it making the day clear, or the day is making the sun clear?
The sun is making day clear.
In fact, Quran say the opposite. وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا. Not the shams to jallina. النَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا. Because if you go higher to a higher level, layers of the atmosphere or outside, what do you see? You see that sun as a disk without light.
It's a reflection.
You need the reflection. You see, the reflection of the day is needed for the sun to be seen as a source of light. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam being sun, in order to be seen, to see his light, you need people around him to reflect him. But if Muhammad was alone, I mean like one person, at the end of the day, so what? And this is why Iqbal tells us that story about that saint, that Sufi, who was telling his students about the story of Isra and Mi'raj. And when he was telling them as Muhammad ﷺ was ascending to the highest heavens, okay, that Sufi was saying, if I were Muhammad, I will not come back.
Yeah.
If you are elevated to these high levels, why to come back? Iqbal then said, this is the difference between a prophet and a sage. Muhammad ﷺ was not thinking about himself. He wants to be in history, to make history. He had to come back. Otherwise his light will not be seen. You see, that this is the beauty of it. And this, now you can understand why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya ayyuhan nabiyyu hasbukallah wa man ittaba'aka. Isn't Allah enough for him? Quran did not say that. Yes, Allah is enough. But also the believers, you need them. Can you imagine? Can you imagine where is the status of the human being as a believer? And the verse is very beautiful. Because it is saying, oh Muhammad, the same way you need me, you need the believers. Can you imagine? So it's believers, my dear brothers, not Muslims. I am emphasizing this. It's not some people who accepted Muhammad as a messenger, who accepted Allah as their God. Now, what is your engagement? How you can show it practically, the same way Ibrahim showed it, but without forgetting that he is still a human being. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. The only difference, يُوحَى إِلَيْ. I got elevated. I was given that grant. Think about it as a grant, okay? If somebody is like putting an application, applying for a grant, they will be given. That person will be given the grant. All he has or she has to show that they deserve that grant. The bigger the grant, the bigger you see how big it has to be. That if I tell you that this guy won a grant of $5 million. Is that right, Brother Wasim? What you can tell about that project? It is mediocre? It has to be big. It has to be a big. $5 million, $10 million. Oh my God. Nobody will say that this is going to be a mediocre. They would. Do you expect you to be failure or to succeed? What? To succeed. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so if Ibrahim was given that grant, if Muhammad was given that, you can tell what they have done to reach that status, so that they will receive directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or through his angels.
Surah Kahf repeats the same thing in Surah Ayah 110. The same thing. Like
Which surah, sorry?
Surah Kahf.
Kahf, no, yes.
The 110th ayah,
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah, قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي. فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربي يعمل عملا صالحا. And this is really the common message between all the prophets, and Muhammad ﷺ was asked to follow the same thing. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ دِينًا. My dear brothers, please, the way Quran talks about religion completely different from what you hear outside Quran. Quran is not saying that these people did not have religion. Whether they are the people of Ibrahim or the people of Muhammad or the prophet, people of Isa or on the contrary, some of them they deliver their message in the temples, in the places of worship, because were going against the meaning of the deen in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why Quran put it in a question, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ دِينًا. You have to search about the best religion. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ دِينًا مِمَّنْ أَسْلَمَ وَجْهَهُ لِلَّهِ وَهُوَ مُحْسَنٌ. Aslama is not enough. To say that I believe in Allah, that Allah is my qibla, I turn my face only to Allah, is not enough. You have to prove it by ihsan. And keep this in mind, because we will see it in a very nice section here. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَبْلَ ذَلِكَ مُحْسِنِينَ. And then Quran will say why they were muhsinin. You got it? Now when we go to the other verses, you see how they come to aid, to support that central theme. So also his wife saw it like a strange, shay ajib. Another word for strange is ajib. Okay? Ajib or gharib. But Quran here, قالوا أتعجبين من أمر الله. So this is something, it's by itself wonderful but strange. Okay, so outside the norm, unfamiliar, against all the odds, if you like. Okay, قالوا أتعجبين من أمر الله. So this is not something, coming from us, coming from Allah as an order, which means direction. ألا له الخلق والأمر. Please don't forget this, because it is going to come with us. Search for the word Amr in this surah and you will see it. I will not tell you. Go and read the surah again and find where is the word Amr. Where is the word Muhsinin? Okay? So, as Iqbal rahimahullah said when he was commenting on this part of a verse, he said, order is direction.
Yes.
What does it mean when you give an order to your nurse? You are giving her the direction, what to do. Give this antibiotic. Don't give this medication. Do this. Don't do that. Stop this. You see what this is direction. ألا له الخلق والأمر. Okay? So قالوا كذلك قال ربك إنه هو الحكيم العليم. So they reminded them of Allah and His two beautiful names. Al-Hakim, the wise, or the all wise.
I have to ask you this. So I'm thinking, picture in your mind, what's going on here. So you have Ibrahim Islam, his wife, and these two beings, Now by this time, it has become evident, obvious to them that they're not humans.
Yes.
Right? And angels, as we know, they're celestial beings, right? So if Ibrahim Islam, never mind his wife, he knew by this time that these are angels.
Yes.
Now let's go back to the first encounter of our prophet when Jibreel Islam came in his cave. He was terrified, right? In the Quran, he was, but we don't see any, at least not in this ayah, any emotion from either Ibrahim Islam or his wife. Because they now know that what they're looking at are not humans.
Yeah.
These are angels. There has to be some sort of...
But because they came in the shape of human beings, they were able It did not come. And in fact, Quran, I mean, again, that requires also different levels.
I understand.
You
but,
see,
I mean,
I'm saying, وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ بِالْأُفُقِ الْمُبِينِ. I mean,
That was
like,
the first experience. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam has
Gone
gone.
through several.
yeah.
From fire and all this.
But again, I mean, I don't want like to be cynical, but that remains a narrative. There is nothing in Quran that tells us about this.
right,
You see what I mean? Like, yeah. So Quran is the narration about this encounter is completely different. وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ ثُمَّ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً will come in Surah Al-Najm. وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى عند سدرة المنتهى. So the same thing when Jibril came to Maryam alayhi salam to give her the good tidings about Isa alayhi salam, he came also in the form of a human being, and yet she was really scared. Okay, she was not sure if he is a good human being or not, and they said, فَأَوْجَسَ مِنْهُمْ خِيفَةً, they did not eat. Are they going to hurt me? Then they told him what is their mission or what they are coming to do. Okay, and then he said, tell me what is your, why you are coming? I mean, is there something more? I mean, قال فما خطبكم أيها المرسلون. But before I was saying that Al-Hakim Al-Alim is you see there is knowledge, there is hikmah, and see how important these two to be together. If we have knowledge and we lose the wisdom, and wisdom has also the meaning of applying the knowledge. Today in the educational system, okay, information, knowledge, wisdom they call it. Wisdom is the application of the knowledge. Knowledge without application will have no value. And if the knowledge remains at the level of pieces of information here and there, we cannot make out of it something of value. So you have to put the information together to have knowledge, but also you have to put the knowledge into application. And believe me, they call it wisdom. يُعَلِّمُكُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. It's not only knowledge, but also, and sometimes you see the opposite, Alim Hakim. Sometimes you need the knowledge first. Sometimes you need the wisdom first. You see, or what you have to exercise more. You see what I mean? So it's very interesting. قال فما خطبكم أيها المرسلون قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمين لنرسل عليهم حجارة من طين مسومة عند ربك للمسرفين. We are here, okay, to punish the people who were really drowning in sin. Okay? Criminals. Quran is talking about mujrimeen. If I want to translate it literally, it becomes criminals. لِنُرْسِلَ عَلَيْهِمْ حِجَارَةً مِّن طِينٍ. Nursila is from above. Is that right? And it seems, now if any of you has been to Jordan, the Dead Sea, okay, or Lut Lake, or the Lake of Lut, okay, it seems that there was like a huge wind that brings all these dust and form out of them, probably like a volcano, if you like, okay, and then they come down as like rocks, okay, I mean destroying. فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين. Another place, it showed us how Ibrahim was concerned. أن فيها لوطا. Be careful. I mean, there are good people among them still.
And he was concerned, he's a very mild person himself too.
Yeah. So فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين. Why Quran would say that? Mu'mineen. Again, it's not just like they accepted Abraham. فَآمَنَ لَهُ لُوطٌ. My dear brothers, this is what is missing today, honestly. Okay? For example, if you want to raise money to build a masjid, you see a lot of people responding. Why? Because they believe in that project. Okay? If you ask them to pay for or donate for a school, because they believe in the value of the, if you tell them we want like to have a intellectual institution, do we need that? They don't still believe in it. You see what I mean? So unless you believe, you will not really be supporting wholeheartedly. Okay, so Lut does not say, oh, I accepted Ibrahim as a messenger. No, he believed in him. He believed in his message. To the point that he was alone, standing up for the truth among his people.
Even his family, like wife.
Only, even his wife did not believe in him. There are others in his household, they believed in him. فَمَا وَجَدْنَا غَيْرَ بَيْتٍ مِّنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. As if they were searching even for Muslimin, even those who really accepted. not necessarily mu'mineen. Even Muslimin we could not find. You see where it's not like, it's a very beautiful, it's not only for decoration. One time is using mu'mineen, another using muslimin. No. Even muslimin we could not find. Okay? Although we know this is a household of iman. Okay? Mu'mineen. فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين فما وجدنا فيها غير بيت. One household of Muslims. But we looked and there were really none. وَتَرَكْنَا فِيهَا آيَةً لِلَّذِينَ يَخَافُونَ الْعَذَابَ الْأَلِيمَ. Ayah. Now when you read Quran, each unit is an ayah. But here, Quran is talking about a historical event, and he is asking us to look at it as an ayah. That should trigger questions the same way the ayah in Quran triggers questions. We need to transform it into a ibrah, to a lesson. The best question you can ask here, what can we learn from that? So you see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it changed, if you like, the law for Ibrahim and his wife. He asked the universe to come to the aid of Lut alayhi salam. One person and a few people from his household. You see, aren't these really good examples of people who exemplified وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ? You see, even when Lut and the people with him were leaving, Quran asked him to do one beautiful thing. He said, don't turn back. وَلَا يَلْتَفِتْ مِنْكُمْ أَحَدٌ وَامْضُوا حَيْثُ تُؤْمَرُونَ. Direction. Keep your eye on the destination. Don't be distracted by other directions. Don't even look back. Focus.
Being human, if you see your people in trouble, you will be.
But again, you may be distracted. This is the whole idea. And how many times we tell our kids, focus on your dream. Focus on your purpose, on your goal. Set a goal for yourself and focus on it. Don't be distracted. And Lut and the believers with him were asked to do the same thing. Do not even turn back. وَامْضُوا حَيْثُ Go in the direction of your qibla, in the direction of your purpose. So inshallah, we'll go to the beginning of the surah next time, and we will see, because it also starts with very, very beautiful oath. And please help me. Think with me how that oath will help us to understand other messages in Quran and how they come to support the central theme that we have identified, at least for ourselves. Okay? Yes.
Iqbal is concluding the whole thing in one or two lines.
Yes, please.
When you said oath,
Yes.
की मोहम्मद से वफा तूने तो हम तेरे हैं, ये जहां चीज है क्या अल्लाह कलम तेरे. He's saying if you follow the footstep of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah is telling average human that only not me. This whole thing you can write yourself whatever you like to write on it. ये जहां चीज है का अल्लाह कलम.
Yeah.
That's all for you. You can write your own destiny.
You write your own destiny. You make your own history. Okay?
That's
You are the agent of a change. This is really the utmost autonomy.
क्या तकदीर से this is the very much right concluded that if follow the path, you can write your own destiny.
Yeah, because nobody will be expecting, for the laws to be changed. An old woman will be giving a child, okay, or the whole town, against one person, and he will come out victorious. You see, but again, they were really writing.
I'm surprised if one concludes in 2 lines.
Yes.
These many ayats.
Yep.
But Allah says, that Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in muqtadira.
Qadira or muqtadira, yeah.
Laws are for us. It doesn't apply to us.
Yeah. But you see the point, who deserves, okay, to go against all these odds? Who liberated himself? You see, it's really because, again, the unfortunate part, another myth that people talk about this life as if they look at it in a condescending way. Oh, yeah, dunya. No, dunya doesn't mean it is low in the way you understand. It is the closer to you. Dunya means the closer to you. You see? But do not be imprisoned in it. This is the message, the stronger message. That doesn't mean liberate yourself from it to give it your back and to make of it less what it really deserves. No. This is the place where you prepare yourself, because we will see next time how the whole universe is moving towards the bigger life. You see, and we are part of that. And the question, in what way we are preparing ourselves for that destination. Thank you very much.